Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading satellite office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, March the 27th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to first start off by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session out here for the day. The Dow Jones was down just about 33.5 points. The Nasdaq was up a little over 4 points, and the S&P 500 was down close to a point. If we take a look at the breadth on the market today, we had 3,030 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. We had 3,015 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. So therefore, breadth was pretty much even. A little bit of bullish, a little bit of bearish, so pretty much 1-to-1 on both sides, you could say. And that kind of highlights what we actually had today. The market sold off a lot overnight on the futures, and then when we came right into the open, the ES was right there at 1547, 1548 level support. Buyers came in and bought that dip, and we closed right on the session highs across the board, recovering most of the gap down across the board here in the different indices and in some names. However, we did have some weak stocks today. I mean, Apple was down. Close to 2%. If you take a look at the financial sector was a little bit weak. Energy stocks were mixed, but for the most part, the basic material sector did pretty well today, along with the services sector. So we did see a little bit of weakness in the technology sector, financials, and consumer goods. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts here, starting off with the SPY daily chart. SPY daily chart pretty much closing flat here. We closed at 156.19. Maintained above the 20-day simple moving average and exponential moving average, which is around the 156.49 level here. All right, if we take out this Monday's highs around the 156.27 level, the next level of resistance to watch will be the highs that we made 2 weeks ago on the SPY around 156.80. Level to watch to the downside is today's lows. If we break below today's lows of 155 and we break below 154.69, look for the next level to hit Monday's lows around 154.31. Those are the real levels that you want to work off of today. As far as the market goes and sentiment goes from today's action, I mean, sentiment still seems pretty bullish. I know we have a lot of people not in. I know a lot of people are not in front of their screens because of the holiday, Easter, and Passover and stuff. So again, we'll just play it by ear and play it how we see it. And right now, the markets are holding up pretty well, and they're holding on top, being supported by this rising 20-day simple and exponential moving average, as you can see here. Okay, we take a look at the triple Qs. Let me finish going through these indices here real quick, then we'll take a look at the charts of different stocks. But if you take a look at the triple Qs are still trading in this little rising possible bear wedge that could break down right here. But in the meantime, like I've highlighted in the prior videos, the triple Qs really is just trading sideways. Let me fix this chart up here real quick. You can see the triple Qs are really just trading sideways between this 69 level here and this 67.75 area. All right, really until we break down out of this range or break above this range, this thing will probably just continue to consolidate, waiting for some type of catalyst to let it rocket up there towards the top of this trend line that we're tracking. Okay, from the top of the wedge pattern that's possibly in play here if we break down, which will be up here towards 69.59, which will be pretty good. I mean, the triple Q should get some nice momentum action in them once they break above the 69 level. So that's the level you want to watch. The level you want to watch is the downside. Again, is 68, 67.75. We take a look at the IWM, the small cap Russell 2000 here, was up 6.5 cents today, closing the session up 0.07%. Even this one here is consolidating, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is take out this. Actually, I'm not going to take it out, but I'm actually going to hide the trend line. All right, just going to hide it, and you can see here. The IWM consolidating above this 93 level of support, prior resistance, now support, and we're trading in the range between 93 and 95. So a $2 range on the IWM. The IWM was actually showing some good relative strength to the market this morning, making a nice move up here. And that's pretty good. That's exactly what we want to see if you're leaned neutral to bullish in this environment that we have right now. All right, a lot of stocks are still trading pretty well. We'll take a look at those couple stocks shortly. Let me just finish going through some of this main stuff here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the volatility index today. See what the VIX did today. The VIX was down today after gapping up from the move lower that we had overnight in the futures, and then of course every gap up we usually have in the VIX usually gets faded back down. That's the same thing that we had happen today. So VIX not really doing much. You can see for the past 2 weeks it's been trading sideways in a range between, say, this 14.55 level and this 12.25 level. All right. If we look at the U.S. dollar did show some strength today as the euro was breaking down. However, I would say the markets held up pretty well with the strength of the dollar today during the session. That's something to keep in mind and to keep on watch. All right, we take a look at the euro. All right, we've been showing you guys this euro dollar chart here, showing you guys how this thing was trading between our inside of our channel analysis here. Let me just fix the chart up for you guys real quick. All right, 1 second here. And voila, we got that breakdown exactly like we were looking for. But again, the target was the bottom of the channel, which I discussed yesterday. All right, now we don't trade currencies over here, but we are looking to, me personally, I am looking to start trading currencies in our firm. We're looking to team up with the company that will allow us to start trading currencies. A broker, I believe we're looking for a currency broker to start working with. But in any case, if you trade currencies and you trade via another broker like FXCM or the case may be, we did highlight the fact to watch the euro for a short yesterday, and we got that target hit down there towards 127.5. Now what's going to be pretty interesting is if we break below this key trend line right here. All right, we're going to be looking for a move back down towards this channel down here, which should take us down towards 125.5. Now the euro looks like it wants to get some serious selling pressure. Why do I say that? Because take a look at this. This thing was holding this nice little trend line right here. Nice little kind of downward slope channel. All right. And we broke down out of that channel today right here. Now, if we hold below this 128, 129 level on the euro dollar and we break below today's lows, look for this thing to start getting some nice selling pressure. All right. Keep that in the back of your mind. All right, let's take a look at the commodities real quick here. Starting off for crude oil, which had another nice follow-through day today. Been talking about the strength above crude oil and watching for crude oil to get bullish back above 94. That has been playing out. The best way to play that is via the ETF of USO, or I believe it's DBO, which is double long crude oil, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, USO, we'll take a look at that chart here as well. Crude oil is moving back to the top side. Next target on crude oil is at 98. If we break above 98, this thing should be making its way up towards 100. That's pretty good if you're bullish on crude oil, but not good if if obviously you're a consumer and you're out there spending money because everything's expensive and you're losing some of your discretionary income, putting more of it into gas and energy to fuel your home or to get around in your car, whatever the case may be. So anyways, crude oil is looking pretty bullish like I highlighted in yesterday's video. This thing has a nice little cup and handle pattern that could be in play with the top of the cup being somewhere around this 98 level. All right, that's what we're going to be looking for. We'll see how that plays out. But in the meantime, crude oil is looking pretty strong. Those are the levels to watch. If you're trading crude oil via USO, let's see what USO did today. USO was up 10 cents, 0.29%. The next level that you have to watch for on this USO, like I highlighted here, is a break above 34, which we did get that break above 34. And now we're going to try to make our way through this little consolidation resistance that we have right here, all this little overhead supply that we're going to try to bust through now. All right, and if we start holding above 34.55, we're going to be looking for the USO to make its way up towards the top of that channel up here, or the top of the range up here towards 34.59. Slowly but surely, we have some more resistance right here at the key level 35. All right, GOD, the gold was a little bit up today. As they were talking about CMEC, everybody's going to gold now because of the little crisis going over in Cyprus. So we're not really seeing that much buying in gold. It did get a nice little pop up last week, and so far it's holding most of those gains from last week's gain. However, in general, it's just really just trading sideways. Not much action there on the GLD. 156.82 still the resistance level you want to watch. Some short-term support around the 154 area. Some better support down here around 153. We take a look at silver to see what silver did today. Let me see if silver is still trading in this range. Silver is, in fact, still trading in this range. Try to break down, but they bought it right back up. SLV still trading in the range between 27.50 and 28.50. Really not much to do here until it breaks above 28.50 and holds, or breaks below 27.50 and holds, like it tried to do today, but they bought it right back up inside the range. All right, so that's how the currencies are looking. Let's go and talk about some charts now, some stocks. Starting off with Apple Computers. Apple was down 1.96% today, down $9, moving its way right back down. I told you guys yesterday that buying Apple up near these levels right here is just too risky for the fact that it was coming all the way from 420, all right, to 470. So I had a $50 move there, And you just don't want to be a buyer up here. You want to wait for it to pull back, maybe see if it could build a base right here at 450, or maybe see if it wants to come back down and fill this gap that it has down here in the 435 area or so. Okay, so Apple may need to pull back a little bit more and then try to build some type of base before you look to get involved in that name. Really, unless you were long from 430 or 425 or so, buying the name up here, like I said, it's kind of risky. Well, not kind of. It is risky. Taking a look at Amazon. Amazon had a nice day today. It was up over $5+ from the opening price after gapping down and recovering. Talked about this name yesterday, looking for a continuation in this name. This name looks like it wants to go back towards 470. All right, and I accidentally deleted all my jongs that I had on the chart here, but you can see from this nice little consolidation that we had right here on Amazon after it tried to flag off this nice little up move. Then it had the Foxconn news that came out 2 weeks ago from the factories about them being behind on their orders for the Kindle. Sold off the stock, and now it's working its way right back up. Our target we have on Amazon to hit is back towards 270 to retest that level, and then we're going to see if buyers are going to try to come back in and buy that name right back up. So Amazon's looking pretty good. We had that on our buy radar today. Visa, again, another strong stock today, had another follow-through day, hitting right towards our target of 270. We gave you guys a stock to watch on Monday off of this nice little channel play, nice little range setup here, and it continues to make a move higher. Top of the channel, which is 170, has not gotten hit yet. LinkedIn, another strong stock in the market, and that's why the markets, I believe, still hanging in there, because some of these strong leaded stocks are still showing some strength. All right, LinkedIn had a nice little update today, up $1.83, still hanging in there, still trading in that range between 170, 140, and 184.15. Let's go ahead and talk about the banks real quick. Goldman Sachs was the strongest bank in the market today. After gapping down, it recovered up pretty well. I mean, it still looks like garbage on the daily chart, but if you look at the 15-minute chart, after gapping down, this thing recovered up pretty well. And I mean garbage in the sense of, it's pulling back a little bit right now, and it's still trading in this nice little range. So it's nothing to get excited about yet if you're looking for a nice move back up to the top side, or if you're looking for this thing to break down. It's really just trading sideways. That's what I mean by garbage. But the company in general has been performing pretty well, so it's not a garbage in that sense. But how it's been trading for the past 4 days really is what I'm trying to say is garbage. It's sideways. We like to trade markets that are trending, above congestion breakouts or below congestion breakouts for a short, or above congestion breakouts for a long. All right. Some other stocks that we were watching today. VMW, we actually caught this for a nice trade in the chat room. I posted the trade on the Facebook page if you want to take a look to see how we traded it. And I also posted it on our Twitter, so you can see it on our Twitter, see how we were able to execute that trade today, which we sold a little bit early. Let me go ahead and show you guys a 5-minute chart. All right, we got long this VMW at 77.60. One second, let me bring up something here real quick. So we got long the VMW around the 77.60 level. Once it broke past not 77.60, 77.29 here. Let me bring up the screen for you guys, show you guys what I'm talking about here. This is our Facebook page, so if you guys want to follow us, it's Wall Street Trading LLC. But we got long. That's an AOL trade. One second, where's the VMW trade at here? All right, here we go. We got long the VMW right here at 77.29. As you can see, we sold some at 77.72 and 78.02. This is a call that I called out in the chat room this morning. Worked out pretty well. Everybody was saying, great trade, Chris. They like the trade. They were able to make some nice cash flow there. However, I sold my last piece at 78, as you can see right here. And if you take a look at the 5-minute chart, again, this is our Facebook page, guys, Wall Street Trading. Go check it out and sign up to it. Like the page, I mean. This thing pushed all the way to 79.75. And I sold the last piece at 70, 77, 72 or something like that, 77, 78. In any case, nice trade in the room. Hope you guys were able to catch some of this action if you follow us on Twitter, on the Facebook page. Another trade that popped up that we were able to catch in the last part of the day there, in the last hour, was AOL. AOL got upgraded this morning, had a nice move out the gate. We were not able to get that first initial move, but we were able to catch it on the 5-minute chart, which I'll show you guys here shortly. But in general, keep this stock on watch. Stock looks real good for a breakout over today's highs and over this little pivot high right here. Even looks like it has a nice little cup and handle pattern action going on right here. So we'll see how that plays out. But if you take a look at the 5-minute chart, the trade that we caught in the chat room going into the afternoon session was right here. Once it broke over these 39s here, I actually got long the stock at 39.10 and had a stop at 39.85 or so, I believe, risking about 25 cents, and we were able to catch this move all the way up to 60, which the target that I gave out to the fellas in the room was the high of the day. And if you take a look at that trade, which I posted on our Facebook page as well, showing you guys how we entered the trade here, you can see I said, everybody, hey, guys, we're getting long at 39.11. Stop is at 38.85, risking 26 cents. We had a nice little entry right here, and it rallied all the way to our target, and we were able to clip out of some up here near these levels there. So some decent action there as well. Again, make sure you follow us on the network so you can see what the type of trades that we're taking out intraday, and so you can make a profit with us. If you have not been to the website yet, it is wallstreettrading.com. If you would like to get access to our chat room, which I just showed you right there that we make the calls out in, you could go to the website and fill out the form on the right-hand side for the 14-day free trial. All right, so back to the market here. JP Morgan was the weakest bank today. This one was showing some relative weakness compared to the other banks, but it did bounce a little bit off the lows. But again, it was showing some nice relative weakness today. One strong stock in the market was GILD. They had some news out this morning. I'm not quite sure what the news was, but this stock is making new all-time highs. Continue to watch this one tomorrow for a follow-through. I'm actually going to make sure I put an alert over today's highs on it so I don't miss it for some follow-through action. One of the guys called that in the room at 47, and they were able to make a move. This thing made move all the way to 47.85 after breaking out this nice little tight consolidation. If you take a look at the 5-minute chart here, nice little tight consolidation, breakout. That's those are the perfect setups that I like to trade here because you can manage your risk pretty well on them. So GILD, another strong stock that's in the market out there. I talked about the LinkedIn, talked about the Visa, talked about the Goldman Sachs being the strongest bank. GILD looking like a good trade setup for a follow through tomorrow for continuation. AOL looking pretty decent. Let me take a look to see what IBM did. IBM has been one of the strongest stocks out there that has been pulling back, so I'm not surprised if it did get a bounce today. Nope, didn't get a bounce today. Still trying to build some type of higher base. Maybe trying to build a base around this 210 level here, which you can see it try to hold last week Thursday. Which it did hold last week Thursday. What else did I want to show you guys here? Oracle, some nice, decent action there. ExxonMobil, mentioned this stock yesterday. However, did not have much momentum today. Did have a nice little green day. It did close up 45 cents, and it is trending against this key trend line that I have marked on the chart here. All right, you take this little pivot high that we have back here from October. Take this next pivot high that we had right back here near early February, and now it's right back at the trend line. And then I highlighted to you guys yesterday that this thing was trading in a range between 90 and 88, a little $2 range here for the past like 6 weeks or so. As long as we can continue to hold above these 90s, guys, you want to be looking at ExxonMobil for a breakout for a test of these 92s and possibly back up towards the 94 level, the highs of the year. All right, the highs of last year's high, excuse me. Yeah, last year's high is around 90, 93.64. Call it 94, whatever. If you take a look at the daily chart closing prices system, you can see that we finally got a nice close above 90. We have 2 consecutive higher closes above 90. That has not happened for a while here, as you can see. So there's definitely a bid starting to come into ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil, guys, the stock you want to watch. Possibly purchase some call options in it, vertical call spreads, maybe sell some 88 puts. Different strategies that you could use, guys. All depends on what technique and strategy you like to use. So aside from that, folks, have a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys bright and early in the chat room tomorrow morning. MyWallStreetTV.com is a chat room, but to log in, you have to have the password. To get that password, go to WallStreetTrading.com and fill out the form on the right-hand side. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, StockTwits, Facebook, Google+. Just follow us everywhere, folks. And at the same time, if you're interested in trading with our prop firm, contact me via email at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com, and I could give you more information on that, especially if you do not have the full 25K that you need to day trade in and out of positions intraday, which is what you need if you want to trade at a regular retail broker. All right, and we can help you bypass that. So have a great day, folks. Catch you guys in the morning. Cheers.